what if I would like a Casio watch to tell me my time, but I also want to wear basically a smartwatch in order to track my health data? This was a problem I faced, and I partially solved it by the following solution. So I do have a watch face on my Samsung, not on my Samsung, but on my Garmin. And this watch face shows the time in seconds. So there are also watch faces that kind of emulate the look of the Casio watch. And so on this here, I also not only have the seconds, but also other things displayed as well, such as my VO2 max, which you find up here. And then I also have my resting heart rate 7-day average. And also I have a couple of other things as well. So this is now always on, and because of the display technology on this watch compared to the AMOLED screen on this watch, it also takes up less power. Of course, now every time the screen actualizes or updates, you have basically a drainage in battery power compared to not having the seconds showing. But I usually want the seconds to be showing, such that I can also time basically many things in my life, and also kind of whenever I take a look at the seconds, just time also how my time perception, or not time, but measure kind of how my time perception is as of now. If the seconds pass by very, very fast, then my time perception is kind of, well, slowed down. And if or slowed down or sped up, it depends on how you then view it. So the external time is kind of constant, but I am seeing it. So basically my time resolution is kind of less, one could say. Now, of course, now this is smaller. This is, I think, what one eventually would want a watch like this to be. So one might in 10 years look back on these devices and say like, oh, this clunky thing you used to wear on your watch. So these are already the smaller devices, the 43mm version of the 7S Pro, and this is also the 42mm version of the Galaxy Watch 4. I do have this one here in a case, such that they kind of look alike, but also such that the Galaxy Watch is more protected. Now, because of this watch face here, so this is called Glance Pro Dual. Previously I used the watch face Glance Pro, which on the 6S Pro is only available in this version, so the Glance Pro Dual is not available. As you already saw, the Glance Pro Dual has basically the secondary screen, so you can have two different customized screens, and this is basically my sleep dashboard, which I use in order to gauge when I'm ready to sleep. So I have a couple of metrics on there which kind of tell me or give me a wake estimate of whether my body is ready to sleep, such as the skin temperature, such as my body battery. And so I found that this is kind of a solution. I don't have to use the battery power on my Galaxy Watch, and so I also charge them in kind of the same cycle, which is kind of possible if I don't have the screen turned on the Galaxy Watch, and I also have the Wi-Fi, not the Wi-Fi, but the mobile network always off on the Galaxy Watch, and then this lasts as long. I also had the battery exchanged after 1.5 or 2 years on the Galaxy Watch, which I think cost me, actually I think nothing, because it was due to warranty or something like this, which was quite lucky, I think. Otherwise it would have cost maybe 30, 40, 50 euros or something like this. And then on the other wrist I have, with the always on display, I have this Garmin Fenix 7S Pro, and so I basically have what I wanted. I have, first of all, the symmetry of having both watches on my both hands. I did have for multiple years issues with basically getting side stitches when running, and so I wanted to also kind of make sure to have kind of an equal weight on my wrist when running. It's not particular for this reason, but of course there are multiple reasons why I wear two watches. The most important one is, or the two most important ones are, I think, are these. First of all, I did begin on a Galaxy Watch, so I began tracking on a Galaxy Fit 1, and also, so therefore my health data, the most health data I have is stored in Samsung Health. So I do want to continue this data set. I do synchronize the activities from Garmin to Samsung Health with a third-party app called Health Sync. And so in order to still record steps though, I do basically still record the steps on here. So first of all, I want to continue the data set, but second of all, the Garmin is not a phone. And so, as I also try to reduce my phone usage to a certain extent, and maybe not to be too reliant on my phone, I have basically a phone contract for this watch. So if there is an emergency, this could be with somebody else, but this could also be with me. And if I'm going out running, and I'm living alone, so if I go out running, there might be nobody that is kind of helping me if I am in a situation in which I cannot get out, or if I'm climbing, maybe not climbing free solo, but there could be potential situations in which I would want to call somebody, and so I am feeling kind of more secure, and also the redundancy of maybe my phone having no battery, and then I would still have the backup of being able to turn the mobile networks on and then being able to call somebody on my watch. So there are watches. There has been one watch in particular, the Forerunner 945, I think, which also had cellular network. So this would mean that it would be possible to have kind of a Garmin watch also using it as a kind of a small smartphone. But I have now this watch, and also the other one I do not have. So I do have this for mostly health data tracking and also for HRV and other things the Galaxy Watch does not have, but I still am wearing the Galaxy Watch in order to continue the dataset, but also in order to have an emergency phone on my wrist.